Karen Murphy from the Gold Coast. And a gorgeous Susan Holland from Sunshine Coast. Can you come please? Now I did warn them not to give you a microphone.
I know.
And there's another one. All right. Well, we're going to start down the other end with Susan. That was going to be I think, for those of you who missed it. Sorry, Susan, I just put you on the spot. It's all right. So, Susan, can you just share with us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how you got to LifeVantage?
Sure. Do you mind if I stand up?
Woo!
Okay. First of all, I got a couple of notes because I am very nervous, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. So anyone can do what I have got to answer here, I was just really impacted in the last session to just say that I am actually a child of God. I'm proud to stand here and say this, and I'm doing this business because God has asked me to do it. I want to impact as many people as I can in my life. I'm very out there and I have a very bold nature. So I love connecting with people, and I believe I've been in network marketing for 20 years, 14 years in my previous company, and I am so thankful to LifeVantage and to God for giving me the vehicle to fulfill my life's purpose.
Have you here. Karen Murphy, tell us a little bit about you and what brought you to LifeVantage, a little bit about yourself.
Hi everybody, so I am a mum of one. I have a little daughter and a fiance of 11 or 12 years, we don't count anymore. And I've lived on the Gold Coast for most of my life, but born in New Zealand. And I have to give so much gratitude to my sister-in-law, Katrina Allen, because without her, I wouldn't be here, and a lot of my team, so thank you. Woo! It was becoming a mum that actually brought me to LifeVantage, and my sister-in-law had no idea that I wanted a way out of my 9-to-5 accounting job because I knew that I was worth more. And so it was finding this and it ticking all the boxes for the possibility of time and financial freedom and to be a stay-at-home mum. And so that's what I get to do now.
That's incredible. Recently, you and Katrina, so I learned something. Yeah, that's awesome. And just in that too, Karen, with what you're saying about Katrina not knowing you were looking for a way out. How many people out there do you think are looking for a way out that we just haven't spoken to yet? So never prejudge anyone. That's a really important note to take, because it's not our place to decide whether the business is for them or not. It's not our place to decide whether the product is for them or not, right? Let them decide. Our job is just to educate and give them the option. So thank you for sharing. Gillian.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm from Yeppoon, Capricorn Coast. Live there with my husband and my two little boys. They're 2 and 5. My background is actually as a school principal. So taught for many years, fell into the role of school principal, did that for a few years, and then I took maternity leave to have my 2 little boys. I was not looking for anything else to do. I was quite happy being the stay-at-home mum, but my beautiful friend Janelle, she reached out to me because she knew my family history, and that is on my mum's side of the family. We have a history of heart conditions. My grandma was in her early 70s when she passed away with a weak heart. My mum gets heart palpitations, but I've also lost a sister after open heart surgery. And then a few years ago, I also lost my dad to cancer. And with that, we had no warning. He was a well man, and well, what we thought well, but he'd slipped picking avocados and hurt his shoulder, which would not get better. And then he deteriorated quickly. And in that time, we were sent to Brisbane looking for some sort of virus infection when they discovered he had cancer. And we had nothing they could do. We were sent home, had a couple more weeks. So all those things there, you know, sometimes you get warning with illnesses. We've got a family history of heart conditions. Sometimes cancer creeps into your life and you don't know that it's there until it's too late. So for me, this was all about being proactive with our health. I knew this was what my family needed. Little did I know it would impact so many of my family and friends so quickly, and it did, and it grew from there. The good stories came in, and it only made sense that I share this further. And so from there it grew, and we've certainly put Yeppoon and Rockhampton on the map and blessed a lot of lives.
Story. And to hear about your dad, and I bet you that he's your driver in this, right? Yeah. Katie, can you tell us a little bit about you and where you've come from and what brought you to Life Vantage?
Yeah, hello everybody, can you hear me? I actually feel like I want to strut the stage. I'm not really a sit-down kind of girl, but I'll really try hard. Can I stand up? Yeah, that's better. Firstly, can I just thank whoever decided I could become a leader and stand up here, because I have never, ever thought of myself as a leader, okay? And now I'm standing here, I'm a leader. And I sat in my chair last year, over there, and Dustin knows, I sat and I laughed. I was a Pro 1 and I laughed. And I thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? This is fun. That's all I was doing. I was having fun. I thought they were going to talk about Pretender. Seriously? And I have learned so much. I've learned so much in this year. Now I'm standing as a Pro 5. So I just wanted to get that out there. But thank you for asking me to do this. And I love seeing all your little faces that I see on a Zoom. It's quite different to see your real. So yeah, it's been beautiful to see all of you come up to me and go, there's Katie Hill, hello. And I'm like, who are you? You know, so when you're on a Zoom, can you actually try and say hello and show your face? Because I love to see the faces, don't we, Charlotte? So anyway, sorry, I'm going on. I'm a registered nurse from England, but I've been here for 26 years. I was introduced to Pretender by a friend of mine, and I had arthritis in my hands, and I thought, skin, you know, snake or bat, not interested. I've been nursing children with cancer for 26 years. I have had a blessed career. And this changed my life and my health, but when I looked into the science and when I read those testimonials of all those people that it was helping, I knew that we had something in our hands that could change gene expression. Yeah. Change gene expression. Yeah. Now, to me, that means that we can biohack, we can get into our bodies, we can do the best for ourselves and our bodies that we can. And we might have the possibility now of changing our health and changing the future of anyone with a disease, anyone with cancer. And I'm over cancer, I'm over children dying. And that's why I'm doing this today. And I will go all the way to Pro 10. So thank you.
Doesn't it take just such a special person to do a job like that?
Very special.
You really are. So thank you for the job that you have done in the past and the knowledge that you bring to our company as well, and the love and excitement, of course, as well, and the fun. So we'll head back to Susan now. And Susan, I'd like you to share, if you don't mind, something that you've done differently within Life Vantage to build your business.
What I didn't mention before is that in that 14 years in my previous company, I was striving to have a volume of 20,000 in my business all those 14 years. I've actually achieved that in 15 months with Life Vantage. So what I'm saying is, when you've found what we've got our hands on, I've had an unashamable faith, belief, confidence. I was literally ignorance on fire in the beginning, and G and I laugh about this for years and years. I rang her from a party and said, "What are those 5 ingredients again?" Talking to someone at a party. So, you know, the difference is really, I don't think it's me, it's what I've got my hands on. What we've all got our hands on. And that business before had 100 products in it. I've built this on one product. And what it can do. So, you know, and my team is called Team MAD, making a difference.
Brilliant. And I agree 100%. I think the one thing that we do have different to any other company is a really unique product. Yeah. We have what nobody else has on this planet. Isn't that incredible? Mm-hmm. Does that excite you? This is not just a vitamin company. It's just not a weight loss company. We are in the business of nutrigenomics, and nobody else can say that. I love that. So different. Karen, what's one thing that you've done differently in your business to get you to Pro 5?
Sure. Well, Susan talked about ignorance on fire. I was probably the opposite. I thought I knew it all, to be honest. I'm a bit of a sponge and I love to soak things in and learn pretty quickly. And with my business background, I thought I knew what it was to be an entrepreneur. But it took a lot of growth, personal development to get me here right now. But it's actually something that I specifically did that I believe was a key pivotal moment to help me hit Pro 5, and that was making a big investment in my personal development, a big investment. And I had invested in a personal high-end business coach specifically who does energy training, and she helped me create an action plan and identify something that she calls soul gifts. And if anyone wants her details, I'm happy to pass them on, but it was working one-on-one with someone who drew out the best in you that you had buried. That was something that really got me here. And by doing that, by committing to myself, by making that investment and having more of an abundance mindset instead of going, oh, that's a lot of money, like what's the point of spending that much money? It has paid off in more ways than one. And it's a gift for myself, but something that I've been able to pass on to a lot of the team in terms of the gifts that I'm able to share that have been uncovered. And I believe as well that with each level in this business, you have a certain level of awareness. And by investing in your own development, it helps your awareness get higher and higher. And as your awareness grows, so does the belief in yourself, the belief in the products, the belief in the industry and company, and that is so key with your growth. So that really made a difference.
Sensational. And personal development is really important. You know, we talk about your business will only grow as much as you do. And so doing personal development, my question to you would be, how often are you doing it? How often do you spend time and focus on growing yourself? Because I do it every single day, every morning, before I even get out of bed. And you need to do that, so that's a really great tip. Thank you. Jill.
Thank you. So for me, when I first started, I was in an area all by myself. The closest person to me was about 800 kilometres away. And while I had an incredible mentor in Janelle, she was brilliant, she was there to answer every question, I took it on myself to learn those things. I reached out and asked the questions. I got stuck straight into presenting. I listened to every video I could find, every presentation from the Master Pro 9s and Pro 10s. I wrote down word for word what they said. I even wrote scripts and I did lots of one-on-ones and I just said, can I please practice on you? And I used my scripts at times. I'm just going to refer to my notes to make sure I'm giving you the right information. So I didn't wait for anybody to build this for me. It's all been done because I've had that desire to share this with people from the beginning. So I went and learnt the information. I found the answers for the things that I needed because it's all there. We've got a proven plan, it's written out. All the information that you will ever need is there. You just have to look at it. So just got stuck straight into it.
Fabulous, I love that. And it's almost like playing fiddle, right? I'm sure in the beginning you made some mistakes and we all do it, but the biggest mistake that you can make is by not doing it, because that's how you learn, that's how you get better. The more you do, the better you'll get. So if you're not out there presenting, you're not out there taking that next step forward and getting out of your comfort zone, that's what's going to shift you. That's what's going to grow your business, is really getting out of that comfort zone. Thank you for sharing. Katie Hill.
There's a couple of things I think that got me to Pro 5. I stumbled my way to Pro 4, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit disorganised. I talked about this product to everybody, like, I sign people up in Bunnings. So, getting customers for me is not an issue, but I did stumble there. And I was sitting at Pro 4 for quite a while, and then I had the Sydney incentive trip. And look, just before I get into the Sydney trip, these events are important. These events are what make the difference. And right at the beginning of this business, they said to me, are you coachable? Yes. Go to every event? Yes. And that's what I've been doing. I've been travelling around from Perth, over here, over there, here, there and everywhere. And I got to Sydney, okay? Now, it was a free trip. I won that trip, but in that trip, I realised I needed to set a goal. I'd never set a goal in my life, seriously. I don't do goals, don't write goals down. And one of my uplines, Kim, got me on the phone and she said, come on, we're going to set a goal. And I went, yeah, okay. Well, I'll be Pro 5 by when? I don't know, a couple of months? No, we need a date. Where's your pen and paper? Write it down. I'm not writing it down, Kim. Why don't you want to write it down? Because I don't know, I'm scared. So, I realised that was my fear, that I wasn't worthy of getting to Pro 5. And I stopped myself and I said, I am worthy. And so I wrote that goal down and she said, what do you need to get there? I said, I don't know. So she said, volume. You need to look at your volume. You need to plan. You need to have a plan in place. What you need, how many points you need, what customers you get on, what distributors. And I went, oh, okay, there's a plan. So I set the plan in place. Now, the other thing that I learned from that Sydney trip, that was from Sherry Hollenbach, look down your tree, look at your distributors. Even if your distributor's not working or there's some block that they haven't got, they can't bring people in or whatever, there might be somebody that they have that in their life that could be that nugget. So look down and rank those people. And remember, I said I'd rank them, and I have ranked people in my business from that point that got me to Pro 5. It's my team that got me to Pro 5 because I helped them get to their goal. And that's what we need to do, and we need to be solid about that. And I'm blessed because they helped me get there, and we should never ever forget that. And look down your tree and help your distributors to rank. So that's my advice. I think that's the difference that I did to get to Pro 5, and now I'm on the way to Pro 6. So we keep going.
Definitely having a goal is key. You need to know where you're going. If it's not written down, it's just a dream, right?
Yeah.
So write down your goal, and don't just write it down, set a date to it, and then set an action plan as to what you're going to do to achieve that goal. It's like saying, hopping in a car and saying, drive to Newcastle from here. There's no signs, there's no GPS, you just have to drive. I'd probably head north. Yeah, me too. To be honest, just that's my husband. But if you've got a GPS and you've got the signs and you know how to get there, what is your chances of getting there quicker, more efficiently, and getting to your goal? So that's beautiful, I love that. Okay, so Susan, what advice would you offer to someone who's wanting to grow the business really quick and wanting to get to their goals fast?
Firstly, really cement your why and why you're doing it. You need to follow the advice of your leader. Commit to yourself and share what you're doing with your family and your friends so they can keep you accountable. But I really believe that, and from experience, I was told to get as many people in front of my sponsor as possible as quick as I could. And you know what? In that first company, over a course of a weekend, because I did that, and people had seen me in network marketing for years before, as I said, and I knew what they were thinking when I said, you've got to come and have a listen at what I found. Here she goes again. I said, I don't care if you walk out halfway through this presentation. You have to come and have a look at what I've got my hands on. They did, 10 of them out of 12 of them joined that weekend, and I got a sizable check 2 weeks later. Now that cemented my belief back then. The same thing pretty much has happened with this. So my advice is just to open your mouth to as many people as you can, as quick as you can, and follow the systems that are in place. Don't try and reinvent the wheel and do your own thing. All those systems are there for a reason. It's been proven. So yeah, just follow that.
Fabulous, thank you so much. That's great advice.
Brilliant. And I just want to follow on a bit from Susan with speaking to people faster. And it's something, I think it might be Brandon Cunningham, one of the Master Pro 10s I heard this from, about compressing time. And by working faster, let's say over a month you were to talk to just one person a day, so that's 30 people throughout the month. What if we compress that, and instead of one person a day, you talk to 10 people a day? So what you're doing in a month, you can actually do in 3 days. That is how you can get results a lot faster. It's actually compressing the time. Another thing as well is, you know how on those last few days of the month where you are so close to achieving that rank or hitting that goal, instead of waiting until the 28th, 29th, start on the 1st with that energy.
Yeah, that's great. Energy has a lot to do with it, right? And I like the fact that, you know, compressing that time is going to build that energy and build that momentum within yourself as well. And that's what's going to push you forward is that action. So that's fabulous. Thank you. Jill, how about you? How would you grow your business fast? What would you suggest?
Well, I think that the ladies have really covered it, but it is talking to a lot of people. The more people you talk to, the faster you will grow. So share your tools. We've got so many wonderful resources. Use the app. Our app is incredible, and I know that it's getting even better and better every single week because of all those updates that are coming through. So yeah, make the use of that and talk to lots of people. Simple.
Isn't our company making it so easy for us with that app? Isn't that incredible? Nobody else has that.
Right.
We are so lucky.
So yeah, I get to be the lucky last. I've said it all, but no, look, there's a couple of things that I would say is, yeah, talking, you've got to talk to people. You know, live it, breathe it, people. Live it, breathe it. Tell anybody that you can about this product. And when you've got those customers and you've got those distributors, the second thing you need to do if you want to run fast, and I've watched it from one of my distributors, Amber, she ran quickly. She's at Pro 5 in 4 months. And I know how she did that because she brought solid people in. She looked after them. I've watched her, I've learned from her. And she has created passion and support and information and nurtured these people so then they can do it themselves, and in 3 months they flow. I watch the team, so my advice, if you want to run fast, bring them in, train them quickly, support them and love on them. You know, all this has been this weekend is loving on people, and if you love people, it will come back at you. And I've watched that, and thank you, Amber, for bringing that to my team.
No, it was you.
No, so that's my advice if you want to run. And we should all be running. Look at Pacesetter. You know, get your new people running. And when they get that feeling, they won't want to lose that feeling because it's the best feeling in the world, isn't it? So yeah, that would be my advice. Beck.
Well, we've still got you. I won't leave you till the end this time.
Oh, good.
So there's such a thing as IPA and non-IPA, income producing activities. So tell me, what would be a number one income producing activity that you could recommend to do every day?
Oh look, DMOs. I have the I started the DMOs on our Zoom. Who's been on DMOs? Daily methods of operation. Never heard of it before in my life. There's lots of things I've never heard of. I'm on this learning curve that's like that. But anyway, you have to do them. You have to have a funnel in your business. Like, if you're not talking to anybody, if you're not connecting with anybody, if you're not meeting new people and you've gone out of your warm market, you're not going to get anybody in your business. So you need the funnel. Simon Chan, funnel. Get them in, move them down, sign them up, move on. Right? So do the funnel. So DMOs every single day, and you get quicker at them. You know, you can knock your 5, 5, 5, 3, whatever, out in 20 minutes. Just allocate that time every day, and you can do it. And you know, you're not going to get people into the business if you don't talk to them and do those things. So that would be my advice.
Excellent. Is there anyone here who could do better income producing activities like your DMOs? Yeah. And make that commitment to yourself. That's really important. Jill, how about you? Number one,
well, following on from filling the funnel with people, you need to be following up as well.
Yeah.
So making sure that you've connected with people, always get their details, not just give them yours, because you want to be able to follow up with them. Remember who they are, write down their name, something that you've remembered from the conversation you've had with them. Give them that bit of a compliment as you are genuine, being genuine. It's a people business. But yeah, checking in with those people, following up, offering them something. I think that everyone here would be a part of a group where you can add people in to share that information so they're constantly getting bits and pieces dripped on them. When they see something that relates to them, they want to know more, but they want you to contact them. Follow up.
Absolutely, yeah, great advice. Karen.
Well, I might just talk about closing then.
Fabulous.
So, what I learned early on was that it's easy to assume that someone's going to say yes to you. But if you don't actually ask them if they are ready to order, ready to get started, ready to do a presentation, ready to step up as a leader, they might be afraid. A lot of people just need the handheld on this journey, and it's embracing your confidence and your posture and having that belief and knowing that we've got an incredible product. So are you ready to get started on it? Our business is amazing, and the financial independence you can have is out of this world. Do you want to have a go at doing this with me? Just asking the question that will lead them to their decision.
And I think too, not having an expectation of the outcome and not taking it personally is also really important. This isn't about you, this is about them. So definitely ask the question, give them that opportunity. You know, maybe they might say no for now, maybe it's just not the right timing, but you do need to ask that question. So that's a really great tip, thank you. Susan.
Mine is very, very simple. Keep your store open 24/7. You know, if you had a retail store and you didn't open the doors, you're not going to make any money. So, you know, I work 3 days a week. A lot of us here work full time. I dedicate Mondays and Fridays to LifeVantage, but my LifeVantage business is going 24/7. I'm always looking to weave it into wherever I am, listening to see how I can weave it in. So yeah, open those doors.
Beautiful. And you are what you attract too. So if you're in this business sporadically and just kind of doing it whenever you feel like it, we can't be expecting our customers and distributors to come on board and go run if we're not matching their energy as well. So if our store's closed most of the time and we only open it sort of just whenever we feel, then that's kind of the result that we get. So that's some really great advice. Thank you so much. Well, ladies, that's all we have time for today, but I'd really love to thank you for your time. So thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.